Sound check, check, 1, 2. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I am TNR Blade, bringing you live to the VPRL Series 10 Round 1 here at the world-renowned Watkins Glen International Raceway, where we will begin our first of 3 races using the GR3 machines, and an interesting format for not just this series, but the upcoming, but the following 2 as well. VPRL hosting almost a bit of a longer championship, so to speak, in the form of 3 of their traditional 3-race mini-series, the results of which will then be combined to form a larger championship. So, whilst this is the North America edition, or North American rounds, these first 3 events that will decide the North American Championship, we will also have a European and Asian mini-series as well to follow. That will be Series 11 and 12. So many things to look out for as these drivers contend in the GR3 machines across the globe. Starting out, we have a few names to keep our eye out for. Currently on the front row, oh boy, this is a new name for me, so I apologize. Vernanza, I think. Vernaza? I believe it's Vernaza. Currently on the net pole position, followed by James, currently bringing up the 2nd place position. Pabst, another familiar face, currently sat in the 3rd place position. Another new name for me. Tolan, I believe. Tolan running 4th for the time being, as we near the halfway point in qualifying now. Azrael running 5th for the time being. Alec in 6th. Oh, Azrael with a big slide out of the through the toe of the boot here at Watkins Glen. I've also just realized I've forgotten my keyboard. I can't do replays yet. Hang on one moment, folks. Alec currently running 6th, Musso running 7th. I'll just continue through the rest of the grid real quickly, hopefully. CB Matt currently in 8th, Speed running 9th, Long 10th in the Acura. Octavo running 11th, MTB jumps up to 6th. Good showing for him. As I believe we're just now jumping into the people who haven't quite set a lap just yet. Peme now coming out of the pits to start proper attempts for himself. And then, is that Wide? I don't know why I thought I read Wild earlier, but Wide rounding out our grid so far in qualifying, as our drivers now have just under 4 minutes remaining. Excuse me for one moment, folks, while I actually get myself set up here without my forgotten bucket seat's great for racing, not so much for getting in and out of. Okay. Apologies for that, folks. So, Wide looking to set a lap time. Looked to be one of our faster drivers in practice. Pabst, good showing for him, getting himself up into 1st in the M6. Wide range of vehicles for our drivers to use today. Vernaza on a lap, about 0.1 behind Pabst for the time being, followed closely by Jay. Oh, how'd you get a 3-second penalty? What did you do? James, keep it on the gray stuff. Alec in 4th still for the moment. Tolan up to 5th. Azrael has retaken 6th after his spin. MTB jumps up to 7th. Or, sorry, no, was 7th. He had jumped up to 6th. CB Matt still in 9th. Ah, pit lane exit pen. Yep, that would make sense. Thank you for the information. So I suppose that would be a talking point for today's event. 40-minute feature race to come for these drivers. Once we do finish qualifying. Track limits and, of course, as we just saw, pit exit will be a interesting contention point for these drivers, especially through turn 1. You know, obviously these drivers probably inclined to use a lot of the entry curb as well as a lot of the exit curb, so see if we can find someone going through. Well, MTB will be the next one to go through that section anyway. Both the entry and exit curbs can be contention points for track limits here. And then as well as the bus stop will also be quite interesting to monitor track limits with. And this corner here, the penultimate. Wonderful layout, this track in upstate New York. Been a staple of the Northeast United States for probably about 70 years now, I believe. MTB through turn 1 nice and clean as he makes his way up the S's, some of the most iconic corners in the world. Cresting the hill now, holding it over to the right-hand side as he makes his way onto the back straightaway, minimizing distance taken. About 2/10 down on his personal best for the moment. Clobbering across the inner loop curbs and gets a penalty for his troubles. Can't be taking too much curb. Yes, that is someone waiting on the start-finish line to let James go through. As time has elapsed, that will do it for qualifying. Anyone who is not already on a lap, that will be it for you. Israel now across the line, Long with the penalty, he won't be improving. CB Matt on old tires, Payme could be on for a decent lap here potentially. About a 10th up for the time being. Toland currently on the pole position, I've just seen. I suppose we'll jump on board with him as he makes his way through the final sequence of corners. Only 2 to go here. Another purple sector for him. Another 10th up. And through the final corner now. Clips the apex beautifully. That inside curve really helping to rotate the car. Charging to the line. And knocks down another 2/10 off his previous best. Securing pole position for him, I believe. We'll watch as these other cars come through. I'm not sure who they are. Wide jumps up to 3rd. Good time for him. Long, of course, had that time penalty. So he won't improve anymore. And that will do it for qualifying, I believe. Yes, Octavio not on a hot lap. So, there is your starting grid over on the right-hand side. Tolan in the M6 qualifies on the pole position at a 1:48.9. Very good lap for him. Vernazza starts 2nd with a 1:55.1. Good lap as well. Wide will round out our current podium positions at a 1:45.2. Pabst qualifies fourth at a 1:45.2 as well. Another M6. Alec, our first Ferrari, qualifies in fifth at a 1:45.3. James got himself down to a 45.4, will qualify sixth. Payme jumps himself up to seventh. MTB qualifies eighth, 1:45.8. Actually, hang on a minute. These two tied. We had a tie for positioning on track. Payme, evidently setting the lap first, grants him P7. Very interesting indeed. That'll be a fun battle to watch. Musso in ninth, followed by Azrael, rounding out our top 10, 1:45.95. Long will qualify 11th, Speed in 12th, excuse me. CB Matt in 13th, and Octavio will round out our grid at a 1:46.4 in 14th. Two mandatory tire compounds to use for today's event. We will get this race going in roughly 3 minutes' time. Allegedly. So, interesting race ahead of us. First of technically 9 events in the main championship, but of course our drivers will be focused on the here and now, both for this race as well as the North America leg of this larger championship. So, don't go anywhere just yet, folks. We will have on-track action coming in just a few moments. Driver's signal at the ready, and we will be ready to go in just a few moments' time. 40-minute race ahead of us for this round 1 of the VPRL Series 10. Lots of high-speed action here at Watkins Glen International as the officials get at the ready. Lobby goes up as we are now moments away from the off. It's an M6 on pole. It has a sister M6 in fourth as the drivers await the lights for the green flag here in the great state of New York. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on. And we are underway. It's a relatively good start. It's a great start for the Mercedes, immediately jumping up into the lead. A great launch. Here comes the Ferrari, immediately up into third, looking up for second now. Alec with a great launch off the start. That Ferrari incredible off the line. Payme with a bit of a slide on exit. He was off the track, but because he was losing time in the process, and he does pick up a penalty anyway. I thought the game might have been kinder to him. It was not. He will have to sit in and try to maintain as much ground as he can. Running fifth. Alec up into second. An incredible start from the Ferrari. Get himself up into second place. Used a lot of curb though. These drivers have to be careful about track limits. We've seen it already in qualifying. Vernaza with a great start in that Mercedes, immediately up into the lead. Tolan, our pole sitter, that Mercedes just not getting the launch he needed, as that was wide going wide in the background. As Payme will have to serve the penalty here. Running fifth for the time being. He's going to lose probably a couple spots here at least. Receives the slowdown, will slot back in line in seventh behind the teammate James, who sends it up the inside now into fifth. Ferrari fighting back. That is Speed on his outside. Speed also with a great launch. I believe Speed actually, I believe, gained like 5 spots off the start. He was way in the back, but that Ferrari really hooked itself off the line. As now James immediately looking to hound Pabst for the 4th place spot. Meanwhile, up front, it is still all Vernaza running in clean air. Alec continuing to try to close in that number 98 machine. Tolan still running in third. James now up into fourth. He got the run on Pabst down the front straightaway, made the move happen. Speed and Payme now looking to also make a move on Pabst here. Could be a dangerous move, trying to make a late braking move into the bus stop. Payme took a look to the inside. Speed got all out of shape. He holds it together somehow. Payme got off the throttle, gave him a break. There was a little bit of argy-bargy on the way in, but everyone able to hold it together for now. High intensity action here already at Watkins Glen. Now Payme with a lot of ground to make up to get back to the rear bumper of Speed. James now up the inside of Tolan. He is on an absolute flyer. Evidently that qualifying speed was not representative, as that is Pabst getting out of the way of Speed, but he's defending, I believe. Not going to matter because Speed just sailed it round his outside. James with an incredible start, already up, I believe, 3 spots from the start. And almost immediately onto the back bumper of Alec in the Ferrari. An incredible start to him in that Lambo. A lot of race pace, it looks like. Starting on the soft compound tire. The two in front of him running the medium, but as James has been well known, especially in the VPRL series, he likes that medium compound tire a lot more than the soft. It's a good run out of turn 1. He's going to immediately be on the back bumper. He is all over the rear bumper of Alec. Alec needs to be careful here with the line he takes. He does not want to get hooked. Mercedes still leading, but the Ferrari being bump drafted by the Lambo. closing in rapidly with the bump draft. James is going to push Alex side by side with him. Little bit of sideways action. Alex tries to back out of it and does so. James was trying to force the issue, force either one of them into a mistake. Nothing happening just yet, as now he'll try to set up yet another crossover on the Ferrari. Vernazza wide on the exit as they come into the toe of the boot. James with the later apex going to get a good run out. Alec, a tire in the grass on exit, but holding it together for now, looks up the inside of the Mercedes. Laid on the brakes, goes the 98. He is cleared for the lead. James gives the Mercedes a bit of a nudge. The contact on exit. He pushed him off. Vernazza gave him a bump back on exit. We'll have to see what the officials say about that one. But now Alec up into the lead. James all over his rear bumper. As they round the final corner to come around and start lap 4. Top 8, for the most part, still as is. The only movement has been James in that number, what car is that? The 59. That Lambo has incredible race pace. But how much of that is down to the tires, and can he make them last long enough? Only 6 minutes into this race so far. Alec already defending the inside lane. James tries to sail it around the outside of the inner loop. He makes it happen. Alec just had nowhere to go. Nothing to answer for that tire disadvantage. Now James will be looking to break the toe, break the slipstream, and try to get as much of a gap as possible. I believe he did sweep the season last time out in the multi-class out in the Audi multi-class of Series 9. If he didn't sweep it, he certainly won at least 2 of the events. So now the rest of the pack catches up to Alec and Vernazza. Let's take a look, see. Speed is on the soft compound tire. That's why he was able to make such a great start at the beginning of this race. Already up into 4th from, I believe it was like 12th on the grid. So a great race pace for Speed. Tolan, our pole sitter, down to 5th. Lost 2 spots to 2 other cars on the same tire strategy, as he'll look to try to reclaim those positions. But he's got his other BMW friend and Pabst right behind him. Not teammates, but same car for these two. Peme still running in 7th, also on the medium tire. So he'll be looking to hopefully try to get around Pabst and Tolan here as soon as possible. Wide also running the medium tire in the Porsche, highest running Porsche in the field. And then a third M6 of MTB running in 9th. Like there was a bit of action going on further up the field, as Speed has gotten around Vernazza for 3rd. Speed, another one of those running the soft compound tire. He realistically needs to get up into 2nd if he wants a chance at a podium here. Get up into 2nd, and like James, make as much gap as possible. Once he has to go into the pits and put on the harder compound of tire. But that tire wear already not looking great for the Ferrari or the Lambo. The 2 Italian machines pushing early. Or 3 Italian machines, I should say, pushing early. Alec doing a very good job at keeping up with James for the time being. Again, slipstream extending to about 1.2 seconds, so Alec just now starting to fall out of the slipstream. But has he been able to stay close enough that we're starting to get to the crossover point of which tire will be better, the soft or the medium? That Ferrari looks to have incredible straight line speed. Was 1.2 back on coming out of the final corner. Closed it within a second and should continue to close even more down this back straightaway and into the inner loop. Listening to that V10 and V8 sing as they make their way down the back. Did James pick up a penalty? Yes, he did. Used too much curb. That's going to cost him over a second. That might drop him back into the clutches of Alec. That is not what he needs. He'll be forced to slow down here at the penalty zone as they make their way down the bottom of the boot. Exits that long uphill right-hand corner, gets slowed down, immediately gets back on throttle. Here is Alec around the outside, already cleared him. So that 1 second penalty, more like a 1.5, just in terms of James needing to get back up to speed. And now he's got all that work to do again, but on much more worn-out tires. A costly mistake for him in the Lambo. Certainly not over yet, though. Only 6, now starting lap 7, and only 11 minutes, give or take, into this race. James looking to close in again. He's brought the gap down back under 9/10, nearly under 8 already. Once he gets into the slipstream, that Lambo really makes some headway. Slipstream, the name of the game, it looks like, which could very well play into Alec's hands, as he will be eventually running long, or you would assume running long here, to then pit onto the medium compound tire. James realistically wanting to go to about 15 minutes into this race before he straps on the medium, if he wants to push everything out of this soft. Meanwhile, further back, Payme has started to make his way up the grid, moving up from 7th now into the top 5. The other Scorpio Esports machine. Wide now also up into 6th as Pabst MTB, oh, goodness gracious, MTB in 8th for the time being, as Vinaza now into 9th. So I don't know if Vinaza made a mistake somewhere, or well, if he made a mistake, it would have been on this lap, I believe, 49.0. I apologize for missing that. As Wide now tries to close in on the back of that Corvette in front. Faked it to the inside for a moment. No move coming of it just yet. As Tolan picks up a half-second penalty for track limits. He'll have to serve that. That could drop him in behind Payme. Payme's got to get close enough, though. Alec really sliding that car through now. As yes, crossover point has happened. Those softs now really falling off of that Lambo. This will drop further back. Tolan serves the penalty, and he is going to lose ground. That is going to drop our pole sitter down into 8th. A harsh penalty zone, it must be said. Those half-second penalties costing these drivers a lot more than that. back up the grid. Speed, it looked like nearly clobbering the wall, exiting the boot, as he will now be the first to come onto pit road. Everyone doing well to avoid as we have a spin further in the back. Vernaza spins it again, and he's got front end damage. Let's take a look. What happened? Oh, got it on the grass coming into the final corner. Clobbers the wall, damages the car. An unfortunate mistake for him, as that's really going to hurt his pace and his chances. Meanwhile, back up front, Payme now up into third after that mistake, and with speed coming into the pits, as he'll now look to try to close in on James and Alec. Wide, starting to fall off of the back of the Corvette, now actually defending from Pabst in the Mercedes. Fairly even on the tire wear between these two, but that BMW just a little better on the rear wear, likely because of where the engine is placed. Obviously, front engine versus rear engine in that Porsche, as the trio of BMWs run 5th, 6th, and 7th, trying to regain lost ground, as MTB comes under fire. A little bit of contact from our pole sitter Tolan as they make their way through, as I believe, yes, MTB, the second driver to come in off the softs. No, sorry, third, because James is in as well. And we said after 15 minutes, that's when you want to come in off of the softs. That's what's happened, as they now refuel the car a little bit. Gets himself up to 80% on the fuel tank. Now, he'll need to be careful on the pit exit not to get that pit exit line violation. Or the pit entry line violation. On the medium now, as he makes his way through. And no penalty for him. So good showing from James. Did that just pop up, that end of race timer up top? That's interesting. I'm not sure why that's showing up. I have not noticed that before. Either way, Alec now leads Payme by about 6 seconds. Both drivers on the medium. The tire wear difference, as you might note, like I said, likely due to engine placements. That front engine Corvette using a lot more of its front tires. It's now wide all over the back bumper again. So, if you're a medium tire runner, when do you come into the pits? If you're looking to emulate with those who were on the softs, who have just come in. Oh, Alex into the pits already off the medium. Oh, that's a lot earlier than you'd realistically want to be taking that. I was about to allude to the fact that if you're on the medium, you realistically want to get to about 25 minutes, get to 25 minutes into the race, 15 minutes remaining to emulate what the soft runners just did. Alec will exit the pits eventually. James making his way down the front straightaway. And jumps Alec with the undercut. By quite the margin. Interesting. Very interesting. I was not expecting the undercut to be that powerful. So that'll be the battle for what is the net lead. James leading by just over 4 seconds. Meanwhile, back up front, Pabst has gotten through Wild. Looks to have had an issue somewhere. Possibly a track limits dropped him out from second, now into fourth. As we now close in on halfway through this race, Payme coming into the pits now. If you think you can make both compounds of tire last 20 minutes, yeah, I could see why this strategy could work, but certainly earlier than I would have taken these tires. But then again, still new to Gran Turismo, what do I know? Payme will refuel the car a little bit, as we'll see where he eventually exits the pits. Everyone in front still yet to pit. Top three continue to battle it out. Now 2 BMWs holding off a Porsche as they make their way through the inner loop. The Canadians leading the American. As we look back down the order, James leading those who have already made their pit stop. Alec in second, closing in by what looks to be about a second a lap. So can he get close enough before those tires start to fall off? Speed, meanwhile, running in 11th. Also one of the early pitters off of the soft tire. And then Payme with a big slide coming through the inner loop, running fourth of those who have pit. But of course, again, Payme and Alec with a long way to go on those softs. Again, those who made their pit stop off the softs, you know, if Payme is going to go the same distance they did, he's got an extra 3.5 minutes, probably 4 minutes to make those tires last. Pabst now into the pits. I don't know why I used the controller for that. In off the medium, as is Long in the Acura. To make his stop is now battle for the lead, Tolan and Wild. 22 minutes into this race now. Now the window, you would imagine, starting to open for these guys. Oh, but he's wide through that inner loop. Does he pick up the time penalty for it? We'll stick on board for now, wait and see. Surprisingly, no, I guess not. No time penalty despite dropping wheels well off into the grass. Very interesting. Octavio still leading from Vernaza, still yet to pit despite the spin in the final corner a few laps ago. And then CB Matt also yet to pit, as is Musso in the other Porsche. James roughly 30 seconds off the lead right now, but with how long of a pit lane it is, you would imagine he will very easily close that gap, and has been doing so this entire time. As Alec now only 2 seconds behind James for what will be the net lead. Wild into the pits from second place at about 23.5 minutes into this event. And like I said, right about where you'd think about doing the pit stop off the mediums. So a traditional pit strategy for both him and Octavio now. Having their stops. Vernaza now promoted to second. About 11 seconds off the lead. James, Alec, and Pabst. Now your top. Did Wild hold on to 7th? No, he did not. Paps is going to get him on exit. Here comes Paymay. Paymay with the run, looks to the outside, should get him on exit here. And does. Paymay 37 back from Tolan, who was roughly about a second ahead of Wild on before Wild made his pit stop. So, this will be about where Tolan does end up once he does make his stop, which we would imagine to be round about now. So we will watch him as he makes his way through the penultimate corner. Does he decide to come into the pits? Stays to the inside and will come into the pits at pretty much exactly 25 or 15 minutes remaining in this race, 25 minutes in. Comes into the pits, 12% of fuel remaining. Vernaza will also come into the pits, but he was on that pit entry line. We'll check to see if he gets a time penalty for the pit entry violation. Matt stays out another lap. So he's not looking to save any tire on the soft once he does eventually make his stop. James now comes on through. Alex still closing in on the softs. And they are certainly not anywhere near as worn as James's were at this point in time. So perhaps Alex set up very light on its toes in that Ferrari. Is now under 7/10 for what will be the net race lead. And Vernaza did not pick up a time penalty for that pit entry. Very interesting. As he now races with his teammate, Octava. Oh, there was a slide further up. That was Paymay and Wild going at it. Fighting for the top 5. What should actually be 4th place once Matt makes his stop. Wild all over the back bumper, looks to the inside. And actually does get Paymay through the right-hander. But Paymay now with the side draft coming back at him into the heel of the boot. Tolan closing in on both of them. And Paymay will slot in behind the Porsche. Matt comes into the pits, only 1% of fuel remaining. 12.5 minutes left in this race. He can go very hard on those softs to the end now. James and Alec through. Alec only gaining 0.2 on that lap. Tire wear starting to kick in, perhaps. James still leading in the Lambo, but Alec with a run under 0.2. Keeps his looks to the inside now, entering the inner loop. James lets him go. So Alec through to the lead, but still 11, or basically 12 minutes remaining in this race. A long way to go on those tires. Remember, Alec already on those tires for probably about 13 minutes already. So while he should, in theory, be able to go to the end on those tires, they will not be in good shape come the end of it. James, you would imagine, will eventually get the crossover on tire grip, as Pabst actually now starting to come back into the battle here on his softs. Much fresher softs, it must be said as well. So don't count him out of this just yet. Alec now about a second clear of James in the Lambo. James still getting the effects of the slipstream up through the S's. Not so much dirty air, so he is able to keep it very easy flat out. Closes in to under a second with the benefit of slipstream through the inner loop. Much better on exit, just not quite the front grip just yet to continue to close in on Alec. Now under 10 minutes remaining. As Paps now starting to close in on the Lambo. What can he do in the M6? He won't have the tire wear issues that Alec will have. Wild still closing in. Tolan could also be in a very good shape here as well, depending on how quickly he's able to catch up to the leaders. Hey May, yeah, your tires are really chewing through those softs, unfortunately. Alec now only gained about a tenth, though, over the course of that lap, maybe a tenth and a half. But crucially, I believe has broken the slipstream to James. Oh, no, James got a much better exit out of turn 1. 8.5 minutes to go here at Watkins Glen. Gap back under a second. James had a very good turn 1. Using all the curb through the inner loop. Are those tires starting to fall off? Cloud cover rolling over. Pabst still all over the back of Dean or James in the Lambo. This is going to come down to the wire. Alec no longer able to pull away. Those tires have reached the crossover point. The mediums are better than at least Alec's softs. Pabst will probably need to make the move soon if he wants to make it at any point, because his tires are not much better. That Lambo really good on corner exits. A lot of rear grip out of those wide tires. Alec able to find a couple tenths on the exit of the boot and through the final couple corners. Can James get another really good turn 1? 7 minutes to go. Alec with a much better turn 1 this time. Pabst actually had an even better turn 1. Under 2 tenths now. He'll look to make the move. James defends to the inside. Pabst goes even lower. James will hold him to the inside lane. But Pabst is going to try to send it through under the brakes. Contact was made. That's going to slow them both down quite a bit. And James picks up a half-second time penalty. He tried to hold Pabst down to the inside lane, tried to pinch him off, entering the inner loop. Just a little bit of contact, kicked him, just unsettled the car, couldn't keep it on the gray stuff, and the game has penalized him for it. Serves his penalty, gets back going, but now 2 seconds behind Pabst. who in turn has another second or so to catch back up to Alec. Those tires are really falling off. You can see just how much of a Muso's got a penalty. Apologies. You can see how much difference of tire wear there is between the two cars in the bottom left corner. 5.5 minutes remaining. Pabst will have the tire advantage to the end of this race. Alec will need to be cautious about how much he abuses those. Can James get back in the fight? Under 5 minutes remaining. 2 and a bit seconds to catch up. It's not impossible, but he needs both of their tires to really fall off a cliff or for them to start battling. Pabst slowly closing in by about a tenth or so here and there. Alec in the Ferrari fighting to hold on. It's a tighter line through the uphill right-hander, but actually lost ground on exit. That BMW with a much better run out. That front-engine machine able to protect its rear tires a lot better. Under 7 tenths now. Continuing to close in. Pabst with a much better run out of the final corner. Looks to get under half a second down into turn 1 and does. He will have a great run with slipstream here. James under 2 seconds. He is catching. But only 3.5 minutes remaining. Probably about 2 laps to go here. It'll be very tight on the clock with time remaining, whether we get 2 or 3 laps here. Pabst closing in 3 tenths. 2.5. Big slipstream run down the back straightaway. Through the inner loop. Alec a little better with the clean air. Pabst with the later apex is going to allow him to get a better exit. Closes into nearly 2.5 tenths. Under 2 for a moment. Coming through that downhill left-hander. Alec now going defensive. This is where James needs to make his move, but he's under fire. Tolan, the pole sitter, has caught up. Those soft tires have not fallen off yet. We said look out for him. Here he is now. Alec runs it wide. He'll need to be careful about a time penalty. Perhaps not as good of a run through on the re-entry to the main circuit. Alec did not pick up a time penalty, though, for running wide in that corner. He's going to cross the line here, and we should have... Oh, no, I think this is the last lap. Not quite enough time. This will likely be the last lap of the race. Only 1.5 seconds separates James from the lead. 0.5 second between the front 2 cars. If they battle too much, James could be right there. Tolan could be right there. Wild is closed in as well. Top 5 all converging on one another here on this final lap of the race. Likely. Alec, wide entry to the inner loop. Pabst closes in again. Tighter line through the inner loop this time. Not as good of a run out, but closed regardless. Realistically, only 2 shots remaining to make a move happen. This is one of them. We've seen Pabst be really good on exit through this corner. Can he do it again? 3/10 the gap, coming down. Alec got just good enough of a run. James is still closing in. I think Pabst has run out of time. This is realistically the last overtaking point on the track. And that will likely do it. 15 seconds remaining unless they get back to the line to start another lap. This is going to be it. Pabst comes through, or no, sorry, Alec, I'm sorry, comes through the final corner, extends the gap to Pabst, and time expires just in time. And that will do it. Alec, with an absolute masterclass of defensive driving and tire management, manages to hold on for the win. Pabst in second, James third, Tolan, our pole sitter, brings it home for a great recovery drive to fourth. That car really did not like the medium compounded tire. Wild in fifth for Porsche. Speed with a good run gets himself up into sixth. Vernaza into seventh. Octavio into eighth. Azrael ninth. Long in 10th. CV Matt 11th. MTB 12th. Payme, unfortunate run for him, drops down to 13th. Oh, excuse me, as we'll get the remaining results. Or hang on, where are the? I did not show the results. So there's your top 8. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing. That's why. MTB in 12th, Payme 13th, and an unfortunate run for him. Evidently something happened to him on that final run. I believe he just ran out of tire and had to pit, would be my guess. And then Musso rounds out the grid in 14th. That will do it for us here in round 1 of VPRL Series 10. It has been an absolute blast to call for you once again. I have been TNR Blade. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next week, same time, where we will be taking on, I believe, I don't know, some other North American circuit. I believe Laguna is the next track? Laguna Seca? We'll have to wait and see. Until then, I have been TNR Blade. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.